Americans are losing faith that inflation will be under control, and the feds are terrified. I have personally never seen Jerome Powell in this type of situation where he is so unsure in his words, and they are literally just playing this month by month, quarter by quarter, trying to figure out how to navigate this jacked up monetary system. So in this video, I'm going to share with you what Jerome Powell said. I'm going to show you the video. Number two is I'm going to share with you what I'm doing to protect my wealth. I don't know if it worked for you, but it's worked for me. None of this is financial advice. I'm just expressing my paradigm and what I'm currently doing and how I financially freed my family and how I'm setting my family up to be on the right side of this coin when the shock to the system changes everything. So on CNN, it says Americans are losing faith that inflation will return to normal. The Fed is terrified. Well, instead of just reading news headlines, let's listen to the head of the Fed talk with very little confidence about what's happening with our economy.
As forecasters, we do expect growth to moderate in coming quarters. Of course, that remains to be seen, and we are attentive to the risk that stronger growth could undermine further progress in restoring balance to the labor market and in bringing inflation down, which could warrant a response from monetary policy.
Okay, so they're trying to bring inflation down through interest rates, guys. When they raise interest rates, it makes it very difficult for companies to operate, right? They're not even close to their target of 2%. They keep pausing interest rates because they don't know what to do. They don't know what to do. There's no money in the system.
The FOMC is committed to achieving a stance of monetary policy that is sufficiently restrictive to bring inflation down to 2% over time.
Okay, so they just told you that it's significantly restrictive. They're still going to bring it down to 2%. So that means one thing, they have to raise interest rates. What you want to pay attention to is if they, on the back end of 2024, 2025, if they lower interest rates, that's going to suck liquidity out of the dollar into the assets that we hold and cause massive asset inflation, which is amazing, but you need to pull profits when that happens.
We are not confident that we've achieved such a stance. We know that ongoing...
So he said he's not confident. They're not sure. They're losing confidence, family. This is your economy. This is your future.
Progress toward our 2% goal is not assured. Inflation has given us a few head fakes along the way. If it becomes appropriate to tighten policy further, we will not hesitate to do so.
We're not sure. We're not sure what's going to happen. They're just going month by month, quarter by quarter. This is the least confident I've ever seen the feds. Remember, the Federal Reserve was created in 1913 to protect your monetary system, your job markets. I also created tax code 7702, how I insure my wealth in 1913. I wonder why. The banks show you how to insure your life. They don't show you how to insure the wealth like the wealthy do. There's only one thing that's going to happen here, in my opinion. The middle class is getting wiped out, leveraged towards technology, moving down to the working poor, and the wealth gap is going to become massive. And as the World Economic Forum says, you're going to rent everything and be happy. Guys, the normal everyday person can't afford a home. When I was preaching this in 2020, people thought I was crazy tinfoil hat. But how many of you can afford a home now with 7 to 8% interest rates? How many of you can even afford a car payment anymore? How many of you can afford your variable interest rates now on credit cards? The credit consumer index is getting maxed. People can't service their debt. And every dollar in the system is someone else's debt. So if you don't have debt, the system collapses. Or there could be a new monetary system coming in, a shock to the system that changes consumer behaviors. And when you wake up on the back of this, everything will be tokenized. There'll be a small percentage of people that took a risk and got their shit together and rewired the foundation and understand how wealth moves through the system, and it always ends up in the same 1% hands. Maybe they invested in things like cryptocurrency and they took their profits out of cryptocurrency. When everybody was getting excited, they sold. And when everybody was fearful, they bought. When they got price appreciation, they weren't greedy and they took money out and secured it in things like insurance, precious metals, real estate. And a group of people got even smarter and they started to build trust around their financial ecosystem. And because of the internet, they got to research how people like the Rockefellers, the richest family in the world, do their money. And normal everyday people like me are now heading towards that timeline, and you can too. There's this thing called the internet. There's a thing called you can understand what history's been manipulated and how it's been changed to enslave humanity. We're all enslaved by money. Until you understand how you're enslaved by money, trading time for money, and teaching your kids and screwing them up, saying going to school, getting a job, and getting a subsidized loan from the government, which made education extremely expensive, to get out and get a $30,000 a year job that they hate, that pushes them deep into the left hemisphere of the brain, out of their creative state of mind. They get depressed, they get anxiety, so they start drinking, taking medications. and it perpetuates itself over and over and over again. Number one, learn how money flows through the system. Number two, understand that money is just currency. It's just a vibration. It's just a frequency. Number three, understand the banks make money in three ways: interest income, fee income, and capital markets income. And number four, do what the banks do. Instead of leaving all your money in the bank, ensure your own wealth. Put your own money in the capital markets. The thing that made me the richest man in the world, and it's not what you think, is my relationship with God, working on my soul, mind, and body. You can take away all the physical. I have food that most don't eat of, and that's called unconditional love. Warriors, rise! Get your shit together. Love you guys. Remember, I will never proactively DM you. That's not me in your comments. Those are all scammers. I will never ask you about your portfolio. I'll never ask you to send me money. Please use discernment. I have two amazing resources for you, both in my bio here on this platform. One is a free consultation with my wealth protection team. It's absolutely free. They'll teach you how I do it. Number two is an absolutely free guide on exactly how I built my ecosystem. So I hope that information helps you. Be careful of scammers. I hate that I have to say this on every video, but I want to protect you guys because I love you. Talk to you soon.